Good morning, y'all. Welcome to another video on the Luderco Arms channel. So this is going to be a quick little video, and basically what I'm going to talk about is some advice if you're considering going into skilled trades and what it's going to be like when you start off. So we'll talk about where you start and kind of the way it progresses. And then I'll give you some rules, not really rules, but some advice to be a success in what you're doing. And skilled trades, I'm talking mechanic, electrician, millwright, construction, all of your blue collar skilled trade type jobs. There's differences depending on what trade you go into, but all of them pretty much work the same way. And then there's also considerations whether you're in an area where you have unions or if you're non-union. I have worked both. Currently I'm working in a non-union plant, which is fine with me. But if you're working out of a union, then you'll have their rules to go by. So this is just kind of an overview. What you actually run into if you're in a union plant or any plant is going to depend on the plant or the union. But you're going to start off as an apprentice. And what you're going to be is first of all, you're going to start out, you're going to be the apprentice / FNG. FNG being an acronym for the fucking new guy. And when you start off there, you're going to come to work every day and do what you're told. And you want to keep your eyes open, and you want to start trying to pick up every bit of information you can about what your job is. Now, if you went to trade school and got a degree in industrial technology, you will not be the apprentice / fucking new guy. You will be the apprentice / new guy that might be a little smarter than the normal apprentice / fucking new guy. So understand that you're still going to be an apprentice. If you get a degree and or a certificate or what have you, you still start off as an apprentice. So my advice is, I'm not going to tell you that going to a tech school or a college is not a smart thing to do. And having that piece of paper will help you in some cases land a job, as in you're going to be higher on the list than a guy who doesn't have one. And in the long future, it may help you if you're wanting to step up into a supervisory position. But as far as starting in skilled trades, whether you got that piece of paper or not, you start off as an apprentice, a fucking new guy. And you're going to go through all the same thing that the guy without the paper has. So just know that. Be prepared for it. So after you've been there for a while, you will go from apprentice fucking new guy to apprentice helper. Usually this happens when they hire another apprentice that's lower in the apprenticeship than you are. Or you have gained enough trust with the journeyman you're working with that they no longer consider you the fucking new guy. And then, of course, once you have finished your apprenticeship, then you'll be a journeyman, a hand, and you will no longer be an apprentice. So, being an apprentice, I will tell you, in most cases, it kind of sucks. Your pay is lower, and you are going to get fucked with. It's just the way of the world. Now, a lot of that and how bad it will be will depend on where you are working, union or not. And whether it's union or not, I'll use the word hazing, even though it's got a bad connotation, but basically, you're the new guy. Jokes are going to be played on you. Don't get offended. Just, it is the way of it. And you'll learn stuff from it. You may not think so, but you will. You will learn. So, you know, if you, now certain companies, you know, the treatment of new people is different. You know, if they've got one of these namby-pamby HR departments, you know, things can be different. Basically, it'll just depend on where you go to work. But you are the fucking new guy, so be, you know, if you wear your feelings on your shirt sleeve, you're not going to have a good time in skilled trades. So, when you're an apprentice and you're first starting out, which would be an apprentice, the number one piece of advice, this is number one, the best piece of advice I can give you is this. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth and open your ears. So, what do I mean by that? Okay, when you're an apprentice, that is basically you are learning. You are a student of your trade when you're an apprentice. That means you shut the fuck up and you listen to whatever the journeyman or the hand that is trying to train you tells you to do. And you may think you know a better way to do it. And you might. You might actually know a better way to do it. Guess what? Shut the fuck up. Do it their way. If it doesn't work, then do it the next way they say to do it. Because you're the apprentice. That's how this works. Now, once you get past apprentice, then you can do things your way or the company way, however you want to do it. But the quickest way to get run off, if you're an apprentice, is to run that trap. Run that trap. Tell everybody you know, think you know better than everybody. That'll get you run off quicker than anything. Keep your mouth shut and learn. That's what you're there for when you're an apprentice. Learn as much as you possibly can. Some people are better teachers than others. So you got to take it upon yourself to pay attention to everything that they do and how they do it. And in addition, if you're one of the smart apprentices, quote unquote, that went to school, and they're doing it different than what they showed you in school, keep that mouth shut. You're still an apprentice. There may be a better way to do it. There's always different ways to do it. But you need to learn the way that they do it where you're going to work. You know, if it's, the only caveat I'll say is if it's unsafe. If they're telling you to do something unsafe, then by all means, don't do that. Anything else, you do it their way. Until you've been there long enough to be a journeyman and work on your own, you do it the way they tell you to do it. Even if it's not the way you would do it. And learn it that way. Because usually and it may not be right. It may be a shortcut. They may be out there, instead of lining something up with a laser alignment tool and getting it just right, they may be hammering everything in place and, snugging the bolts, starting it up, and then letting it settle down and tightening the bolts more. People do it all the time. And it's not, is it the right way to do it? No, it's not. But does it happen? Yes, it does. So as an apprentice, you do what they tell you, learn it their way, and then once you're doing it on your own, then if you want to say, hey, maybe we should be using this alignment tool, well, you're a journeyman, and if you want to do that, you can. But as an apprentice, you keep your mouth shut. Unless it's something unsafe, keep your mouth shut. Now, you may find that there are a lot of journeymen that when you're working with them, they don't mind you asking questions or suggesting a different way. But do it in a way that's respectful, because at the end of the day, you're still the apprentice. And definitely ask questions if you don't know. You won't get fucked with for asking questions, but, and this is a big caveat, when you ask questions, pay attention to the answer and store it away. Don't keep asking the same questions over and over and over again, because that will get, that people don't want to keep explaining to you the same thing over and over again. You need to pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Now, in skilled trades, there are jokes. Hazing, and again, I don't like using that word, but there's not really another better word. Initiation, maybe. Let me tell you about why you shouldn't cry about it and get upset about it. One, if they're playing a joke on you, they like you. If they don't like you, they just won't fuck with you. Period. So keep that in mind. And some of this goes back to the what you got to understand in skilled trades. When you're the apprentice, you're the gopher. You're the go-to guy. When they need somebody for a shit job, that's you. When they need somebody to work on a holiday, that's you. When they need somebody to cover overtime because one of the journeymen is taking a vacation on a holiday, guess what? That's you. So go ahead and be ready for that, because the longer you're there at a certain place, the more vacation time you get. When you're the new guy, you get to cover. So don't go in there thinking you're going to work 9 to 5 and then leave. When there's an emergency breakdown in a plant and they call you in the middle of the night, you're expected to get out of the bed, get dressed, and get your ass in there and do the work. Companies don't make money if the shit ain't running. And when you're the new guy, especially, you need to get your ass up and get in there and help do what your job is, because it's expected of you, and you will go a lot farther in getting out of FNG fucking new guy status and getting out and graduating out of your apprenticeship the more you're in there doing above and beyond. So don't go in there with the mindset that you're going to work certain hours and then leave all the time. That's not the way it works. Now, some companies are easier to deal with than others, but you still, especially when you're the new guy, when you're in maintenance, you're expected to keep that plant running. And if that means getting out of bed at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning and heading to the plant and working 16 hours straight, that's what's expected of you. Your lunch getting interrupted, that happens all the time, every day. You can't get upset by it. It's all part of the package. So be prepared for that. Don't be easily offended. Don't wear your feelings on your sleeve. The worst thing you can do as an apprentice is let those guys know something bothers you. Man, smile and laugh it off. Let it go and keep on trucking. never ever let somebody know something bothers you, because if you do, that's what's going to be brought up time after time after time after time. That's all you're going to hear about. So keep your head down, do what you're told, learn, pay attention, and learn your job, learn your trade. And then once you get out of the apprentice program, keep learning. Don't be one of these guys that, oh, well, that's the way we've always done it, and I'm not going to learn anything new. Don't do that. There's nothing worse than working with them guys. There's always an easier or better way to do something, and be happy if somebody shows it to you. Just pay attention and learn it. And remember it. And it doesn't matter what trade you're in, you're going to see stuff again. You're going to see stuff over and over again, the same thing, and then you're going to see stuff that you've never seen before in a million years and you never would have thought would happen. And it's just going to happen, and you just got to figure out a way to work around it. Improvise. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. But just the biggest thing when you're an apprentice is keep your mouth shut and learn. Pay attention, do what you're told. Don't let the jokes bother you. Just let it roll over you. Just know that every guy that plays a joke on you, he had it played on him. And if it's just talking shit, let me tell you something. Give as good as you get. Don't get upset. If they're talking shit about your mama, you talk shit about their mama. That's way better than getting upset about it. Because remember, it's just playing around. There's nothing to get upset about. Let that shit roll and give as good as you get. And, be the one, when there's a shit job to do, be ready to do it, and don't complain about it. Now, when you get older, then you can complain about it. But when you're an apprentice, you keep that mouth shut. You don't like doing it, just keep that mouth shut and get it done. Because you're going to have a whole lot easier time that way. And remember, another word for an apprentice is a probationary period. They can get rid of your ass. So, keep that in mind. If you're an apprentice and you're going in there and you're always complaining and you're always late, be on time. Don't be late. The apprentice should never be late. Ever. Be on time. Be early. Nobody ever got in trouble for being early. If you're early, you'll never be late. So, that is my advice for you if you're thinking about going into skilled trades and you're wondering about, being an apprentice and all that stuff. Being an apprentice isn't that bad. It's basically learning your job and being a gopher and getting all the shit work done. That is what an apprentice is all about. It's not that bad. You'll make it through it. Then somebody else will come behind you and you won't be the new guy anymore, and it's all good. As long as you learn your job and do your job. That's, there is that. And if you get in there and you don't like it, God damn it, go. Don't stay. If you don't like it, don't stay. There is no amount of money worth working a job every day, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week that you hate and you don't want to do. Not every day is going to be Disneyland, but if you absolutely hate it, fucking get out of there. Drag up, go find something else to do. Anyway, that's it. So I encourage everybody, if you're interested in skilled trades, start talking to people who are in them. Go down to the union hall. If you're in a union area, go down to the union hall. Start talking with them. If you're in a non-union area, start talking with people who work at these plants. It's almost always easier to get on somewhere if you know somebody than it is if you don't. That's just the way the world works. So appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good one.